have 1, no 2, no 3. How about a whole bunch of hearts on this crown of heart cakes? And you hear people say it's too pretty to eat. This one is an adorable cake.
I haven't met a cake that's too pretty not to eat.
It is pretty, it really is.
But let's show you how you get started.
Okay, how do you do this?
You know, because this is a shaped pan, you're going to want to make a shaped cake board to hold it. And so you use your pan as your outline, and you can see I've actually done about 1 inch outside the perimeter. So you just mark it and cut it with scissors.
Your cake board, would you get that at just a craft store?
Yeah.
And then cut it in the shape you want?
Any place that has cake decorating supplies. Then if you have some foil like this, you want to cut that even larger, because what you're going to do is you're just going to fold that over and tape it. You can glue it if you want. I'm kind of a tape girl.
Because it's going to be hidden by the cake anyway.
But you want to make sure you leave it large enough so you can fold over, and your cake board large enough so that your cake fits on it with the border. Okay. I think you've kind of figured out how to do that. Now the other thing I do is afterward is I will bring my hands around there so that it's pretty even and you don't have any little pokey pieces there.
And you shaped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you want to use your pan, unless you can find a cookie cutter that's the large size or whatever you're doing with that, you want to use your pan as the pattern for your heart. Now you can use a pen. I'm kind of a spatula girl. And you just go around and you actually, you know, follow the pattern of the pan, and then you'll come back and cut that out with scissors.
When you make your fondant heart, you can get kind of a gauge, and you already have one that's cut out.
I've already got, you know, the pattern here, and I would just fold this in half and then just finish cutting off the rest of them. Just like when you were a child, yeah, you can see I've already folded this and cut that. So that's how you get the pattern for what we're going to do in a minute. But now we're going to cover the cake.
And you're going to show us on a small mini, you can get by the pans that do have these minis, and you're going to show us kind of.
Now I left this here not because I thought we needed a snack, but because I wanted to show, I leveled it with a serrated knife, so I just sliced across the bottom so it sat flat and the side of the cake touched your cake board, because if you've got a big area up at the top, then you have to put more border or a larger border
to cover
that. Now I've rolled my fondant out to about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch,
and this is
and
just
I've covered it because I wanted to remind everybody, when you're working with fondant, you don't want to let it air dry, because then it gets kind of cracky.
Okay,
and it's not as smooth to work with.
Moist and easier and pliable, so you can shape it around your cake.
And I've measured up the cake across and down the side.
And you've covered it with buttercream.
And that just kind of fills in the holes. It also acts as glue. And you're just going to come along like this and shape it down.
And you
can actually use the warmth of your hands to press in so that you get that center part. You can see it, the indentation.
Right.
You can see the little poke I made with my nail, and then just keep
going
like that. You can smooth it out.
And the pink fondant, you bought that in did you color this? Or
Yes.
you did color
I did color this. And you just work it in like you would with modeling clay. And you can just keep shaping it till it takes the format. And the more you kind of rub around here, you can see you get that second layer that was on there.
Right.
And then you'll just cut this here. You can use a pizza cutter, you can use a knife.
Now, what do you call this? Do you call it a fondant?
Cutter.
A cutter
embosser.
Just a cutter and embosser, okay. And
so this is some of it back here. And then now you're just going to come along and fold it in underneath. Okay. And you could put a border around there which would cover it up, or if you're a really good cutter, you don't really need that.
You would get it straight.
And I'm just going to stop there because you kind of get the idea with the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
now back to your heart.
I've rolled this out, and I've got the heart that we used as the pattern. I'm going to take that same little cutter, and you can use that as the pattern, and just cut around it.
Just come around the edge with it.
You can also use a spatula.
And with this fondant, as we're going from start to finish, we want to work with the fondant on the day of, so it will adhere to the cake, right?
You know, yes, you want to put it all together on the day of, but you could make this cake ahead of time if you wanted to.
Okay.
I'm going to
because it will keep, right?
Yes.
Fondant will.
Fondant actually seals it in because you've got your buttercream there,
so it won't dry out. Because there's nothing worse than biting into a cake and it being dried out.
And you see, there's the heart, and then if you have some little frayed edges, you just tuck them in.
Kind of shape them.
Let's make a couple hearts, and you see I'm just cutting and twisting because that way, you know, it comes out easier. Right. You can pull it away, or you can stick your spatula underneath it. Now, to adhere it to the fondant, I want to just pick up what we just did, put a little bit of water on it.
Now this fondant is just like the small mini pan that you just
Yes.
did. The same purpose. You put a little buttercream under it. Put this, and this cake is already dried. It's cooled.
It's crusted over a little bit.
crusted over,
I know that doesn't
okay.
sound too exciting, but that's what we call it. It's crusted over. So you
Okay.
just lay it on there and pat it down.
So just a little bit of water will make it.
You don't want to
adhere.
put too much water because then it gets slick and starts sliding all over the place. So you want just, you know, just a little bit. I might actually pull a little bit of that off.
And you're just placing these in the indentations, the heart shapes
You've
from
already
the
got your
pan.
guideline there.
What do you call that pan? Does it have a certain name?
Crown of Hearts.
Crown of Hearts. So it's just the same. Okay.
And there you go,
Great.
like that.
You know, this would be great for, of course, Valentine's. That's a no-brainer. But I could see an anniversary. You were talking about you've been married 30-some odd years.
Yeah, let's not
That's
talk. I was
wonderful.
10 when I
That
married.
is wonderful. That's right. But I could see Mother's Day, Father's Day, just I love
Grandparents'
you would
Day.
be wonderful. Yeah. I can
So
feel
there's
the
that
love.
one, and you just finished around like that. Now this one is one that we've just baked, and maybe you didn't want to put a whole lot of icing on it.
But this is pretty. It stands alone, and it is pretty by itself. I could see it even just a sprinkling of confectioner's sugar on it would be nice. But you're
And you
making
see, I've
hearts
got
out
a
of.
star.
This is buttercream with a star, right?
And I'm just filling in there, and that's an 18. Now,
Okay.
if you wanted to do the center, like you said, you could put just sugars on there. You could spatula ice it if you wanted to. I'm just going to do some quick rosettes here. And
What
a rosette
what
is
tip
like you
is
start.
this?
This is a 23.
23.
You start out like a star and then just pull it around.
But see, that's so pretty and that's so easy. I mean, you make that look really easy.
Well, it is.
It is
You're
easy,
just
okay.
squeezing perpendicular. It's a medium consistency icing.
And just pull your edge around and then lift
Yeah,
up.
and here I'm going to do a
Stop the
surprise. Here I'm going
pressure.
to put a star in the middle.
Oh, okay. And there's your heart.
And you could do it completely with the rosettes. I'm going to put some more stars on the side.
Now this is yellow cake that you've used here, but you could use a strawberry, a red velvet cake.
Oh, red velvet is
Red
one of
velvet
my
would be
favorites.
wonderful.
You also could, depending on, you know, if you can find the sprinkles, you could actually bake that in the batter too.
Put it inside.
You could do it
so when you
chocolate. This
slice
pink on
it-
top of a chocolate looks really good. If you did a chocolate cake, you could, you know, just dust it with confectioner's sugar. But there's other things that you can do with this. You could actually make a sandwich. You could do ice cream.
Well, we have a
mousse,
salad
or-
here. We have the orzo salad with the tomatoes. And this was a no-brainer, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just use an orzo recipe and pack it all in, and we have the recipe on the website, but it's got chicken and peppers and some green onions on there, and then just filling in with the tomatoes, it actually takes the shape of the heart.
Or gelatin. Love is in the air on Bake, Decorate,